Yee! Look at this! So messy, and is it good for investment? Wow! Here can or not? Oh, see the spider web? And then it look dark leh. Got people wants to rent this place or not? Then if one day as an investor buying this kind of property, will people wants to rent here or not? Because if no tenant wants to come, then am I going to have the empty unit and I'll bleed every month? Or maybe the tenant find that, wow, it's a bit quiet, then will their customer come and find them or not? Ooh, there's a lot of things to discover, man. Industrial property has always been the least best option for people to think of buying a property as an investment, because it look old, it look unattended, and people are really concerned about, hey, is this an investment option? But looking at the whole journey, most of the people after buying their residential property, they stop where they are. But do you know that there are many opportunities, especially in the industrial and commercial, that this actually provide you good cash flow and a good exit strategy in the long haul. So in this journey, I want to share with you what are the things that is possible, that you can grow your pot, and giving you nuggets of things to take note when you are going to buy your first industrial properties. So let's start our journey. So what is industrial? At a high level, industrial is divided into two parts. We have B1 and of course B2. B1 is actually known as a light industrial space, and B2, which is heavy industrial space. So at a high level, it means that for production things, example like carpentry, machinery, there's a lot of noise that's involved that is actually categorized into B2 category. So for B1 is for people that actually need a function of their office usage plus some of the productivity space, they will go into B1. If you take a look at the screen on the left, you'll be able to see things like example of B1 industrial property. Their design factor are cleaner, nicer, and it looks like office in a way. But they are definitely not office category. They are B1 industrial. But on the picture on my right here, if you can see, these are all the heavy industrial space, where you can see car workshop, you can see production space like hydraulic engineering, scrap materials function. These are things that is a bit noisy and they need much bigger space. So B1 and B2. So everybody have a choice that you can make a decision which one suits you the best. But I guess both works well. What we need to know is which one works best for you and give you the best in returns. But if I look into a journey, most of the people complete their residential journey. Some of them bought their HDB, some of them bought their private condo or even landed journey. Their residential journey might start for a while because the seller stamp duty period have not expired. So this is also a good time for you to consider, do you want to come into industrial space and make an investment in this journey. So when you're done with your residential purchase, while you are waiting for your HDBs to reach the MOP period or your private properties that to reach the SSD period, you can actually consider industrial investing as one of the good options. Because in industrial, the entry level is also much different as compared to residential. Example, at the quantum level, you can actually buy an industrial purchase that's valued from $500,000 to within $1 million. You can start buying some things and to enjoy the investment journey. As compared to residential, if you're going for a private condo, nowadays every purchase probably is about 2.5 to 3 million for a 3-bedder bedrooms. So this is where people are keen to go in because of the entry level that makes it easy. But on top of this, there are also people that are concerned about the lease that is remaining running on the industrial journey. Some of the property, if you have made into a search, you actually left about 15 years, 20 years, or even 30 years, and people are concerned about it. On a personal level, after dabbling into this area, actually there are strategies behind that still give you one of the best return even with lease that's remaining so short. So once you understand the logics of creating cash flow or the logics of gearing the cash out of the property, you will be able to find interest into buying industrial property because you will have the best returns in the long haul. So how people really start their property investing in industrial property? There's a few things that you want to take notes. First thing, you can actually go and check how much you can borrow using an investing holding company, IHC in short, to check how much you can borrow first. And using this function, the banks are willing to work with you to lend money to the company, but with the conditions that you as a director and shareholders, they are going to check based on your NOA and your income statement. They will probably work out some figures and say, hey, this is the amount that you can borrow. With that, with the clarity of that, it means that one day you can go and buy property knowing that the banks will be able to support you on the loan part first. With that as a clarity, then it allowed you to start hunting for property and eventually buy a property that's within your budget. However, if you want to start your journey, please be careful because there are pointers that you need to take note, which is why in this sharing, I'm going to share with you what are the things that you probably want to take note first before you commit yourself into a property investing in the industrial journey. So one important thing is actually the commuting solution of how people actually come here to work. Example, one important thing, a very nice bus stop that is right smack at the building itself. So can you imagine if the property that you are going to buy as an investment actually do not have a bus stop that is right smack at the doorstep? People have to walk to find the location. And this means also one day, if the colleagues actually go for their lunch or their coffee break and suddenly it rains, then what happened? People will get stuck and they will not be able to go back to the office space. So this is what I want to share with you. The location of the property. First thing, you got to solve their logistics. Is there a bus stop that's going to support them? If not, like now, it's going to rain. This is something that is going to be challenging for people to come here and work. So one more thing to take note, every property have their own unique selling point. Example, the ones that is behind me is actually a ramp up. Ramp up means that the trailer or the footer trucks can actually go up and send and deliver their items. And there are properties that are actually built with good height. Example, good height units will attract players like the scaffolding training center, some of the people that need to put storage. So each property have their unique selling point. So being ramp up being said, you'll be able to attract people that is doing car related trades, especially when delivery of their car, the whole in trailer, you'll be able to set it up in different level. Some other properties don't have this kind of ramp up, they are flatted units. So you need to understand the characteristics of the properties before you make a decisions. So things that you need to take note. First thing, there are some facilities that is actually within the industrial journey. For example, there are swimming pool, there are like gym, but these are things that you probably want to take note as an investor because you are the ones that's paying the MCSD fee, which is the maintenance. But the thing is, you are not enjoying it. MCSD fee is high when you have swimming pool, you have gyms, and it means that it's silently taking away your cash flow every month. The second thing that you need to take note is actually the maintenance of the property. Imagine this thing. Imagine every paint has actually wear off. So what will you do if you are a tenant? Will you like to rent a place that the property maintenance is not that great? You probably want a unit that looks great and the corporate image feel good as a tenant. So that will increase the rentability parts of the property. So with poor maintenance, that will give you a chance not able to rent out faster and it will actually affect your cash flow. So if you can see everything that's behind me, does it look very quiet? Because it seems like all the units are actually roller shuttered down. It also means that every unit that you want to buy, you need to make sure that the occupancy rates are important. So for example, how do you find occupancy rates in the unit? First thing, go and understand how many units are there in the whole property first. Then you start walking step by steps on the highest level. You walk it through from the tops to the bottoms and go through and count how many units seems to be vacant. And using the vacant versus the total number of units, that will give you the occupancy rates. As an investor, I don't want to buy a property that is not easy to rent out, or there are too many supply of empty units that eventually going to affect my cash flow. I want to buy a property that is with a lot of tenant as a demand, is easy to rent out, that will give me a good support in terms of my rental. So one thing, take notes, do not buy a property that the vacancy rates is super high. So now you see it's raining, and what will happen when it rains too heavy and you don't have a coffee shop within the building? The people, the colleagues will not be able to go back to the office, and what happens? Your productivities will drop. So think as an investor, you need a place that your colleagues can have their breaks, their lunch, and will not be affected because they need to travel out. So think through that way, hopefully it helps you. So where are we now? We are actually at a coffee shop within the industrial property. So is it important to have coffee shop? The answer is yes, definitely. You know, as an investor itself, I also want to provide a very nice place for them to have their lunch, their coffee break, and their so-called lunch breaks and everything that's required. If you don't have a canteens or a coffee shop within the property itself, all the tenants, colleagues have to move out of this place to have their lunch. And can you imagine this thing take times, and this thing eventually will not be productive if they are halfway stuck in the rain. So far, I hope that you learned something in this video to share with you what is going on in the industrial investing journey. These are all the pointers that help me to grow my portfolio, and I hope that it does help you. But remember one thing, looking into the pointers or checklist is just one part of the whole thing. You also need to be very sensitive in terms of the numbers. Numbers are the ones that hold the foundation of property investing. Example, what price to go in terms of the PSF, what is the rental PSF, and there's many numbers to take notes. So I hope that you learned something in this video, and I look forward for the future videos to share with you what are the numbers that is important so that it does help you in the next journey. And on top of that, if you are into this property investing journey, do comments below which projects that you want me to do an analysis. I'll be happy to get back to you. Do subscribe and continue to share our journey. So I'll see you in the next one.